Okay, and we are live. Welcome everyone to Overwatch Oasis. Tonight we've got a tier 3 game of Stardust Crusaders versus Prodigy Noobs. I'm your host for tonight, Sebi, and joining me we have the lovely Jibba.
Hello, everybody. I know it's going to take a little bit for this to kind of get the notification out. We do have another game going on right now between Tantalizers and Pizza Planet, so two really good games tonight, in my opinion. Big kind of a Goliath match here right now because I think both of these teams are top of the standings. And the Pizza Planet Tans game is also very important as both of them are fighting for their win here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fun game. Like you were saying, two behemoth teams going at it. I know it's going to be a hyped game, and I can definitely see both these teams making it to the finals as well, so it'd be interesting to see who makes it out on top for tonight.
I think both of these matches are going to be some fantasy busters this week. If I'm being honest, I think were the two hardest matches for me personally to kind of pick on who did I think was going to win versus what kind of score was going to be the outcome here. So really interested in seeing how these play out.
Let me just make sure that everything is okay with the teams, and we should be good to go when they give the readies.
Always got to wait for those readies.
Weddies?
Weddies? For a second, I was going to be like, oh, it didn't happen, but it pretty much came out.
It
So.
did. Yep, too late.
Everyone can make fun of me, just make fun of Jibba. It's usually how that happens, so.
And let's see what the maps are for tonight. Okay, Oasis, Numbani, Anubis 66. I'd say an okay-ish rotation of maps. Numbani I'm not a huge fan of, and I can't say the same for... Well, I can say the same for Anubis as well. Yeah, pretty awful maps, I'd say, compared to the rest that
I
are in
have to say,
rotation.
Junk Nubis definitely is the most frustrating map to kind of play out of 3 CPs that we have, but I do actually personally really like Numbani. There's a lot of different angles that you can take, and there are a lot of different comps that you kind of can play on that. You definitely see a lot of hard bunker on the defensive side, but good dive, good sombra, those kinds of things definitely help break those bunkers. And both of these teams have really good rotations and synergy just amongst themselves. So you can see, I could see them bringing us to a map 5, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we've seen throughout the season both teams pretty much just running out of the gates and doing a fantastic job in showing us just what they're capable of. So yeah, I can agree. I can see this going to a map 5 for sure.
What is map 5? I don't think we wrote that one down.
Busan. Now where is the
What
pause?
what
Pause,
sort
where
of
are you?
comps are you hoping to see tonight?
It's an interesting question actually. Usually I'm the one asking that, so what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, it's R3. I always want to see a Pharah. I don't know what it is, but always have a lot of enjoyment watching Pharah and a bit of Rein Zarya. I know both teams can run quite a few different tank lineups, so honestly, it can be a. They can pretty much play anything as long as it's not Orisa, and I'll enjoy watching it and commentating over it.
I'm definitely a big fan of the double flyer comp, so when you get to see like an Echo with a Pharah together, it can be really spicy on what those two DPS characters can kind of get done and the sort of backline damage, but also shield breaking that they can do.
And it looks like we've got the readies here as well, so
So we
let's
go.
we go. Real question is, what does chat want to see? Anything particular that you guys want to see coming into this first map here?
That is always most important, is what does chat want?
No, the most important thing is pause.
We do need pause button to work, because if it doesn't work, that is a bit of a sad time.
So yeah, we can see quite a number of comps coming out into this map specifically. Honestly, would be quite impressed if I see a dive come out. I don't know about you, but I really like seeing like a monkey ball or monkey diva coming out on this map. Oh,
Especially
ask and you shall receive.
I was gonna say, especially if you do use like a Lucio and or a Sim to get to point very quickly. So on the side of Prodigy Noobs, we are seeing a Rhine Hog, which is very good for point presence with the Sim Reaper and a Lucio Moira.
And like I was saying just a second ago, it looks like Stardust here are going to be running that dive comp, so I think Prodigy Noobs do really need to be careful here with the Symmetra and Hanzo, as they can be quite easily dived here.
Yeah, I definitely liked the initial Reaper pick from Nova, but I can understand the change to the Hanzo. Maybe we will see that change back to Reaper almost immediately.
So it looks like Stardust here are taking the high ground. Definitely the smart thing to do as a dive. You've got the Winston, obviously, with the cleave damage, and Hopkins does go a little too far. Fortunately, he does have the help of his team to take out Nova. Picks are going currently back and forth right now. Anyone's game, but Prodigy Noobs do still have Mexi alive, so that Reinhardt shield is going to be really difficult to get rid of without their sort of backup off tank.
Yeah, we do see both DPSs here on the side of SDC are down. Your Revity should be back in this fight very shortly.
And Mexi here already with the Shatter. Are we going to see it being popped now? It doesn't seem like they need to, as picks are going heavily in favor of Prodigy Noobs at the moment. So quite a strong start for Prodigy Noobs as well. And we are starting to see a few changes here from Stardust.
Yeah, there was a really good point presence from them. I liked the idea of the dive from SDC, especially as they did go against the after the backlines there. But it just seems that the rest of PN being on point and playing very tightly there really helped them excel.
So we're seeing a sort of flanky rotation here from Stardust. Nice block from Eldritch, but the damage is too much from Boss and Mexi. And quite a clean fight win here for Prodigy Noobs coming into this. Uravity does get a pick there, but it's not going to be enough.
Not only
oh, and a pin as well from Mexi. That's a huge stagger. That's going to make things really difficult now for Stardust Crusaders. They pretty much only got one shot to turn things around. And if we look at the ult economy, it really heavily favours the Noobs at the moment.
I do see them taking another inside rotation here. Smart to kind of try and adjust around these turrets, but they definitely have to be careful with them.
Dragons do come out from Nova, as well as the whole hog. That is a lot of damage coming out. And Nice Hook unfortunately wasn't able to take out Strife, and Sidomia with a big beat to keep Strife alive there just in the nick of time. Looks like Stardust are actually going to be able to turn things around here, just barely.
I think that shield from Little Aries was just a little too far back compared to probably where they wanted it, because it would have forced the rest of PN to kind of give up a lot of space and allow SDC onto point there if they wanted to try and play around that shield.
Uravity has spotted the TP there. I wonder if he's going to wait for them to TP over. Has that tire in the bank as well. Looking to rip it. Is he going to find anyone? Can't be too greedy with the tire.
I was going to say, taking a very long rotation there.
But does get Cloud, so that's going to give them an extra few seconds. And what is happening with the camera? There we go.
Yeah, it's definitely an extra few seconds, especially because it's going to be hard here for PN to kind of push in without that Lucio speed boost. But Lucio is right back in this fight.
Yeah, they've got time at the moment. You know, Stardust Crusaders only at just under 50% at the moment. We are seeing a few ults being invested here, and seems to be doing the job, though Strife is having none of that right now, taking out Boss, so the main heals are gone for Prodigy Noobs, so it doesn't seem like it's enough. Spicy and Cloud doing a bit of work here, Nova following up with the damage, and oh, we do have Eldritch here. Does get a big shatter, but The rest of his team are still in spawn.
Yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of a stall touch point here, so depending on how long Ant Hopkins on this ball can spin to win, that placement of those turrets might make that a little bit hard.
Yeah, unfortunately he is out of his cooldowns though, so he's going to be caught with his pants down there, and looks like Stardust are going to take that. So a pretty strong start for them, I would say. Were able to take it all the way to 99%. But they did have quite a few ults there, and they managed to lose it at 99. So, you know, even though it's heavily in favor of Prodigy Noobs on that map, it feels like it still can be anyone's game. Caught with his pants down, gotta love it. You gotta love it.
That's what we get when we have a Brit here casting and commentating for us, is some interesting little
We don't even say pants, we say trousers.
trousers. So it looks like on the side of SGC they're going back to that dive again. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it for PN.
Yeah, I'm liking this TP onto point, just pretty much gets them set up immediately. The only problem with that though, like you were saying, is Stardust are playing the dive, so it doesn't really matter to them as long as they've got the high ground there. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, Stardust definitely favor the high ground in these situations, which is very smart for them, and it's sort of right now at the moment forcing PN to play very tightly and back up a bit.
Picks are going currently back and forth for both teams. Urabbit getting a pick, but Mexi taking out Eldritch, that's going to be a big pick actually in favor of them. Little Aries will be able to come back a lot quicker due to the TP, so we'll see how they do.
Smart to see though that, commenting on that last round, Nova did choose to kind of play the Reaper this time instead.
Oh, and a huge pulse bomb there from Strife. Is that going to turn things around? Looks like it actually will. Strife with a 5k. Oh, and so Domia steals the 6.
gotta hate that teamwork sometimes.
Strife diff though. Yeah, I agree. That was crazy to watch. I guess we know what player the game is.
And we do love our play of the game montages that we're hoping to sort of get back up into play again. But I like that PN is sort of meeting them here on the high ground to force them back down to point and force them off.
Eldritch playing smart here as well. He doesn't want to go jumping in front of Nova on the Reaper there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a jump. He needs to make some distance. Otherwise he's going to take a lot of damage, which he still did, to be fair. The shot does come out. Go ahead.
Really good rotation there from STC once they were kind of aggressed off of that main high point to go to the middle high point.
I think Strife did actually get the stick there as well, but didn't kill since it was on the Reinhardt.
And plus with that res there from Magdragon, as Magdragon did get almost booped off of it from Cloud.
We are seeing quite a few ults being invested for both teams. This is heavily favourable for Stardust right now, since they still have point and they've wasted a few ults of Prodigy Noobs right now. So it's almost like we're seeing a reversal of last map right now. Mexi putting in some work.
Magdragon's just going to kind of, along with Cydomia, they're just going to keep stalling this up a little bit. Probably be able to get the point to 85%, which is really good for them.
Yeah, that's solid. Pretty much one fight territory here. If I were them, I would just be holding my ults now. Just make sure you have, you know, a couple of ults to work with, and the point should be yours. Got some love for noobs in chat as well. Pog, welcome. Are we going to see a big Diva bomb? Unfortunately not. Good job from the noobs to disperse. But you're at you with a big pick there. Nova is out of the fight, and with the Death Blossom as well, so that's going to be a lot of damage. And potential picks gone. Shatter comes out.
Taken out a neck from some of those turret damages there.
Eldritch does need to be careful.
He's battling right now against Spicy Nomi and almost takes Spicy down.
Eldritch actually gets res there as well, but needs to get out. There's no point in staying there. And we see a swap from Magdragon as well onto the Moira this time around. Strife as well going onto the Mei. Looks like they're just trying to deal with as much CC as possible, really.
That on top of, I think, just trying to kind of section off as much of PN from each other as they possibly can.
And there's that Blossom I was talking about. Novafile is able to get 2, and the follow-up is there. Are they going to be able to take out Sidomia? Yes, they are. Now again, the pressure is on for Stardust Crusaders. I don't know if they're going to be able to touch here. We do see a sneaky Moira. Meg seemingly going to touch last second, but has been found out by Cloud. And that's a big brain grab there. Fortunately, Uravity did get onto point in time. And he did actually flip it as well, but again, picks up heavily in favor of noobs at the moment. It's just a matter of time before they flip it and take point. Though Magdragon... Ah, too late. Magdragon doing their best, but...
Yeah, that was, from Spicy, that was I think a game changer sort of grab to keep most of them off of point. While Uravity was able to flip it, kind of helped to create a stagger on the side of STC that, here's that play of the game, that Prodigy Noobs were really able to kind of follow up on and separate the teams with.
Yeah, I also agree with what Richard is saying in chat. Switching off D.Va when Nova had that Blossom was... it was a tough call, to be honest. The DM could have made a big difference, but who knows.
Alright, so right now we are 1-0 Prodigy Noobs, and we go to match chat to get these next swaps for the next map.
And the next map being... I know this one. Hang on. It's a bad map, isn't it? We'll find it.
Cable
Only
has
bad...
to has to spectate Prodigy Noobs by Blueberry.
Prodigy, okay. PN got this easy win. Oh, I don't know about easy. I think that was pretty tight for both maps there.
So on the side of STC, they're going to be running Hopkins and Strife on tank, Uravity and Wakucha on DPS, and Dragon and Panda on support.
Uravity, Wakucha, and who else?
Dragon and Panda, so Cypher Panda.
PN 4-0 or 3-1. Interesting. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but both teams are undefeated at the moment, or have Prodigy Noobs lost one?
I will pull up standings. I think Prodigy Noobs have lost one. I think right now the only undefeated team is SDC. But let me get that those standings up for us.
PN did lose to White Walkers. Okay. So Stardust at the moment are the only undefeated team.
Correct.
Prodigy Noobs do have a big task on their hand, but things are looking good for them at the moment.
If Noobs are able to pull this out, then they're pretty much going to be in like a first place tie between a couple of different teams here. So that's where map differentials will be very important.
And that's why I was saying at the start of the stream that I can definitely see both these teams making it to the finals. Just really fun watching both of them.
Reflex with the quick answers. We appreciate that.
I'm here for whatever strat Stardust pulls out for Numbani. So what I'm hearing is Symmetra Bastion.
No swaps on PN. They are ready, so we just need a ready from SDC now.
I think if we got a Bastion would make Nation happy, wouldn't we? I don't know if Nation's still in chat.
I think Nation's always in chat.
Yeah, Nation is everywhere.
got to run and grab my dog's water for 1 second, but I will be back.
Okie dokie. So chat, what do you guys think is the best sort of strat coming into Numbani for attack and defense? I will ask both of you to play nice. I need Wakucha on a hit scan just because I enjoy it. Yeah, I think he's nuts. I want to say he's the one that plays a lot of Widow. I'm sure he was... I want to say it was Anubis as well. On defense, he stopped like an entire team push and pretty much stopped them from getting point B. Yeah, he's the Widow player. Okay, I'm talking about the right person then. Now the real question is it Wakaucha or Wakucha?
It looks like we have readies from both teams.
Okay, so we go again.
We get the move on.
Bulky saying that he wants to see some hit scan from Wakucha or Kaucha, however you say their name. And I believe we have actually casted before when, like I was saying just a second ago, he pretty much stopped the push on Anubis defense on his own as a Widow.
On Anubis, or this is the first?
No, another time. Yeah, hopefully we can see some more Widow coming out.
Sorry, I also have to say, flaming hot Doritos are really spicy.
Flaming hot Doritos?
Yeah, I don't recommend trying to eat them in cast.
They're so mild, what are you talking about?
But anyway, on the side of SDC, it looks like we are getting a bit of a bunker here. They are going to be setting up on that high ground. Not surprised to see that, especially because they're on defense right now. And we do get that hit scan that we've been looking for, with that 7th member, Bob, able to come out sometimes whenever he wants to play.
Looks like the noobs are going for a interesting sort of TP, quite a heavy brawl comp it looks like. Surprised that they're going for a D.Va rather than a Zarya in this comp, but we'll see how that pans out. I suppose actually having a D.Va in this instance might be beneficial against the Bastion.
It would be. Unfortunately, the D.Va was on high ground to kind of try and cancel out the Ashe there a little bit, so they're going to have to pick and choose who they want to sort of dive in these situations and or deal with. Do you eat the Bastion damage or go after the Ashe?
And like he was saying, unfortunately the D.Va was caught out, and not just the D.Va, it's Cloud as well, so you got two separate sort of pincers happening right now.
I really like the playing there here though that we're seeing on the side of PN with Nova File kind of trying to take some backline shots here onto Urevity, but is sort of caught out quickly, and they are aware. Cast a curse.
Good job from Novafile as well, able to take out Mag Dragon in just 2 shots there. Piling on the pressure onto Uravity. Is it going to be enough though? Mexi does take out and Hopkins, Cloud Lemon as well with a follow-up onto Strife. And it looks like the bunker is no more. Even though Uravity is still alive.
I think it's looking like actually that
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna be able
scary.
to potentially solve this.
Oh, this is huge.
Eurevity's
This is
Eurevity's
huge.
staying alive.
Uravity.
So I want to say what SDC did there that was really smart is Eurevity did stay in position to kind of be constantly dealing damage, and then Magdragon touched point until Rakucha came back to kind of help stabilize them there.
Yeah, really solid play there from the team. I'm sure Uravity is freaking out as well with that play. But yeah, surprised that they were able to touch the last second and sort of recover from that.
Yeah, so SDC did a really good job of their rotation there once they realized that PN was pushing them. PN, it looks like, is going to be doing this rotation again. I like the use of the teleporter to give them safety here.
Looks like Mexi might be looking for a shatter here, just needs to break that shield. But Mexi gets shattered instead. A lot of damage coming out from Uravity on the Bastion here, they do need to watch out for that. Ults are coming out, but Uravity doing a lot of work. Spicy Nomi able to take him out, but Magdragon with the res. Again, Pix going back and forth, Strife taking out Ares before being taken out himself.
Great use of bongos there from Ant Hopkins to kind of help the team just get that extra damage in so that they can stabilize and allow the other 3 members there to kind of have some time to get back to the point.
Yeah, and it was actually a pretty good job using that. The rest of the team are sort of building their ults back up as well. So
Bastion is so annoying. Don't we know it, Dylan? Don't we know it?
now I wonder if Nova can pull off a big Blossom like before, unless he falls off the top. It's okay. Oh no, and then the fat finger. Oh, you hate to see it. Change camera, change camera.
Stop the caster curses here. Interesting to see though that PN is still trying with the sim sort of situation here. Would have, I think, maybe been helpful for them to kind of switch to Sombra, but I do think if they can build the beam up here, it can be impactful against the double shield.
Chat does come out. We are going to see a Diva Bomb coming out as a last ditch effort. It's not going to be enough. And off the back of Uravity's big play in tank configuration, they've managed to actually hold with, what was that, just over 2 ticks?
Yep. So what we saw there, I think, from SDC was, like I said in Overwatch talk earlier today, I didn't think it's going to come down to a matter of who is better on their role, you know, on tank versus tank or anything like that. It comes down to rotations, it comes down to synergy, and SDC did a really good job with their rotations, especially with the Bastion and the focus fire that they needed to kind of have there. So we saw, you know, we saw them dropping to point. We saw Ant, I don't know if it was purposely or accidentally, on the second or third push there, kind of fell off the top. And Eurevity immediately dropped down to kind of try and get behind his shield again. So, which ended up being really good for them because that's when we saw, I want to say, I think it was Spicy Nomi kind of throw that Diva Bomb up on top there. So their early rotation and constant rotation is definitely a benefit for them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you can definitely tell that these teams have been playing quite a lot, whether it be through scrims or just over the years. Even Prodigy Noobs here, we've been seeing some interesting strategies, and honestly they do work in pressuring a, you know, bunker comp. So the fact that they can sort of decide to do that, like, you know, on a split-based decision as soon as they see the Bastion, it's really really fun to see their sort of positioning and routes that they take to try and take him down.
Now running their own bunker comp with a Pharah this time instead of an Ashe, so, and a Baptiste, which is very smart kind of piece.
Yeah, it looks like Stardust Crusaders are going for that Diva Rein. Is Diva Rein the new meta? I haven't really been playing Overwatch as much recently, so I wouldn't know. But they do have Uravity on his signature Junkrat, with Coucher on, surprisingly, not a hit scan this time around.
Even if it's not meta in this situation where there's always a bunker on Numbani, it's definitely a smart choice to kind of run the Diva. Early pick from Ant Hopkins onto boss though, so that will be if they can follow up and get just another pick or two, really impactful for them.
Yeah, the only issue right now is just breaking through the double shields. So they're sort of in a state of limbo at the moment.
But they could be getting some, you know, time. They could be on point if even one is on point, kind of trying to get a couple of ticks here.
That was a scary pin there from Strife. Unfortunately, the Matrix was up, so the amount of damage that Strife took before his pin went all the way through was just too much.
You're already very close to having a pulse bomb here, which they need to bait out that BAP shield first before, and then Kian is going to have to separate very quickly if they all don't want to get caught in another big bomb.
The only issue with that is they also do have Boss to get the res onto Ares if need be, and you know, you've got the small chance of Spicy Nomi also eating it. So there's a lot of things Gravity needs to think of before. Almost taken down. Is he going to get the stick? Fortunately not.
But that Bastion's not in that immort field right now.
Yeah, he is on little Ares like glue right now. The Bastion does so much healing on his own. And with the added help of, you know, Boss and Cloud, it's pretty difficult getting rid of him.
You are fully healed.
Lot of ults on the side of STC though, kind of go into this fight in comparison to Prodigy Noobs. So would like to see Prodigy Noobs maybe use this Orisa bongos first to kind of initiate the ult fight that we probably are about to see, the Triangle Fest.
Yeah, we do have, what is that?
The rest of the end, build up those ults.
9-10 ults online altogether.
And if your Revity's able to kind of build up this Sombra hack, then that will be major.
Oh, unfortunately Cloud did use the Matrix, but a little too late, and the rest of the team were able to get through. Diva Bomb does come out. Are they going to find... Ant Hopkins is able to get Cloud Lemon there. Unfortunate
Really nice
miss there from Strife. Pixar's sort of in favour of Prodigy Noobs right now, though, as I say that, it's looking like Stardust Crusaders are still in the fight. A nice hack onto Spicy Nomi there.
Right now this fight is all about getting them off point very quickly, keeping them off point, and trying to just cap as much as they can. At least get to the same sort of...
Cloud needs to touch here. Looks like this is going to be a scrappy fight just to touch point at the last second. No ults online either, so it's going to come down to pure focus fire.
Great focus from your Revity to take out Nova very quickly, because Nova was one of the next few that would have been online for ults.
The longer they take to try and take this point, the more they have to be careful of that ball, but it doesn't matter. They were able to take him out, and looks like it's going to be a 1-1 at the moment.
I think that was a very impactful sort of switch there from your Revity to go from the Tracer to the Sombra. Those hacks, those targeted hacks really sort of helped take the team out of what they needed. And this is
Oh, this play was juicy. Mom, get the camera!
Nice little sacrifice there at the end to make sure they took the ride down.
Yeah, that was huge. Pretty much kept them in the race there. Don't want to leave game. Let's see. I think Nation's a very happy man. We've seen a bunch of Bastions already, and this is only map 2.
Both of these teams just very, on point getting this done, making it thus far a pretty quick series, I would say. I like it. Shows how strong both of them are on attack and on defense here to kind of you know, for Prodigy Noobs to make map one theirs very strongly with their defense, and for STC to really hold on Numbani. I will try and get us an update on next game, but we do have swaps from both teams.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for the side of SDC, we're going to have Strife and Eldrick on tank.
Strife and Eldritch, yep.
And then you have Sai coming back in for Panda.
Yep.
And then on the side of PN, you have King and Sleep coming in for tank.
I don't think
DPS
I've seen King before.
DPS are still the same. And
Yep.
we have Savage and Cloud, so Savage for boss.
Is King a new pickup, or am I going crazy here?
I don't think so.
Oh, apparently he is a new pickup. Well,
I stand corrected then.
if he is, then I'd like to see what they bring to the table here.
So it looks like on our other game, we're already on Route 66. And the score is 2-1 Tance.
I think that's a win that the Tats definitely need there. Off to a rocky start, but seem to be getting in their stride. Is it just Zancient Tic Tacs versus Tater Tots after today?
Tic Tacs. Four teams. Four teams with the names in the that you give them.
I almost said it there. I stopped myself. Pizza Planet won map 3. Okay, but the score is still 2-1, right?
Correct. And yep, that's the only other game that we have remaining for the week after this, which will be on, I want to say Sunday?
Sunday?
Sunday? Yeah,
Sunday fun
at
day.
8 p.m. EST. TT, taters.
Wait, TT or Tents? I'm so confused now.
Tants are playing right now, but Tactics and Taters still have to play on Sunday.
Are we anywhere near the halfway point of the season? That's a good question.
Sure. I sure hope so. I think we are. I think the season is projected to end sometime
Around April, yeah.
And
It's coming towards.
We have readies from both sides.
And we're coming towards the end of January, so it's pretty much about 6 games, maybe, per team. And then we're going to probably move on to playoffs.
Probably. We don't need playoffs. Nobody likes playoffs. Let's just skip playoffs.
I mean, you can't say that after winning playoffs last season.
Let's just skip them. They're stressful. No one likes them. They're not fun to watch, especially when you go to map 7, map 3 on map 7, 99.99. But no, all of the teams in the league thus far are really just doing a great job, in my opinion. It's still kind of anybody's game, regardless of what, you know, scores and standings are. It will be interesting to see what teams do make it, what teams unfortunately don't, and from there, what teams continue to progress further and further into the playoffs.
I want to say that this season was definitely the most competitive, at least for me. I feel like it's anyone's sort of championship this time around.
A lot of teams some teams started out a little scrappy and are still a little scrappy. We see some things still, like We The Ops game the other night. I know White Walker started off with Definitely a different shake-up from the original White Walkers with people on different roles. So really nice to see everybody kind of settling in and playing different roles and still doing incredibly well.
So speaking of roles here, so we have Prodigy Noobs running that double shield with the Sim Farah, along with the Baptiste Mercy.
And it looks like we're getting another bit of a dive here from STC. So STC really favoring the dive tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately Uravity there did get an early pick, forcing Cloud to use the res. And Wakaucha is able to take out little Ares yet again, so back to spawn you go.
Goes down to King. Bag Dragon with a little bit of mercy pistoling here is able to take Nova File out.
And get the res as well onto Wakaucha. A lot of damage being pumped out from Stardust Crusaders, pushing them into this little corner.
I gotta say, I love both teams for not playing a Junkrat right now. Though a Junkrat would have really helped out in that little tiny room there as STC was pushing.
Smart of Uravity to use his TP to get closer to Nova just to confirm the kill. Quite like seeing that. And speaking of which, we do have an EMP online. Looks like he's getting ready. He needs to be careful because he's detected. 5 in that EMP core. We do see the mines coming out as well. Wakaucha getting the first pick here. King Tyrant was unfortunately in the worst position there. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, STC does a really good job of kind of separating one or two people out and then sending in like a focus of, you know, two players to kind of battle against them.
Oh, did I think Sleep Shake caught Sidomia mid beat? Yeah, looks like it. That was a huge kill.
Cloud able to get that sneaky res off there onto Little Ares, but Little Ares does go down. Nice though, because it does allow, it did allow for a second there a little bit more point stall. So.
Man, but look at that time bank, just under 4 minutes 50 seconds. Yeah, that was a good use of ults for Stardust Crusaders there. Worked out in their favour.
I am sweating right now to see what PN is going to do here on their attack. And it is not from the Doritos.
I think it is from the Doritos. Can't handle your spices.
Apparently. But it looks like we will be seeing a bit of maybe a sim teleport, rush to point kind of thing. So that actually really excelled for PN on map 1. So if they can kind of get themselves established onto point, I think they'll do a really good job and be able to kind of battle back against this time differential. Oh, and now we get the Junkrat.
Oh, that is terrifying. I'm so sorry.
So if Nova does not take this teleport and takes that high ground onto the bridge here, we'll be able to kind of pepper in a lot of damage from behind as the Hanzo, especially if it's accurate damage, I think can potentially take out 1 or 2 of the STC players here.
Yeah, I think Nova can do a lot of work against this comp right now. They just need to watch out for Uravity, but even then I think Hanzo's got a solid spot. And as I say that, taken out by Eldritch already to start things off. So Wakaucha does get a pick, Sleep Shake as well. Little Ares picks are going pretty much back and forth right now.
You're definitely going for a lot of hacks here, but King is doing a really good job trying to kind of play around that. That was the first hack there, I think, out of almost 3 or 4 that Uravity tried.
And even though Stardust took the first pick there, it looks like Prodigy Noobs with a pretty clean, you know, take there of their own. And they're having just under 6 minutes coming into this next point as well. Pretty much in the same boat as Stardust right now.
If they can snowball this well, I think it will definitely be a better time bank for them. So it looks like we'll be on this map for a little bit.
You're a little too slow to get the hack there. Oh, but big mines there from Eldritch, able to take out both Cloud and Nova. Strife with the follow-up. Pick's going more so in favour of Prodigy at the moment. Or, excuse me, Stardust.
Yeah, especially smartly using that kind of tire there just to zone them up point. They definitely want to make sure there's not a better time bank right now on the side of noobs.
I am on fire.
Is that bomb gonna get anyone? Fortunately not. If I was Strife, I would have kept that bomb until a little bit later into the fight, maybe, until everyone's on point. I like the idea of it.
But we do see quick switch here on the tank side from STC, so I can understand that to just kind of zone them back a little bit.
And a grab does come out from Sleep Shake. Does find 3, but the beat is there from Cydomia to keep everyone topped up. Wakaucha with a big pick taking out the main tank. Nova does get a pick of his own, but not before being taken out by Eldritch, and yeah, clean hold there.
Chat's letting us know that the TP Chance game is going on map 5.
Map 5? Sounds sweaty. Now, you were saying earlier about Chunk Nubis. I wonder if Wakucha is going to make magic happen.
Stream sniping. You see it. So if Sleep Shake's able to kind of build up, I think, a very quick sort of beam here especially against this Zarya, having both beams from Ares and Sleep Shake would be very impactful.
Nice pin there from King Tyrant. Just doing a shed load of damage to Strife and take him out of the fight as quick as possible. Nice pin yet again.
I would really like to see a pin off point. I really liked the initial boot there from Cloud Lemon, and then they waited to follow up with that pin, because sometimes those sort of little mechanics can get lost in very stressful team fights like that, where, you know, the Lucio will boop right as the Reinhardt pins, but we saw a lot of patience there on the side of Prodigy Noobs to kind of use those cooldowns properly and wait them out.
And good for Prodigy Noobs as well. I think coming up against a team with a time bank of like, what, just under 5 minutes, being able to, you know, finish it off with 3 minutes of your own just sort of keeps them in the race as well.
Yeah, at that point, like, one of the most massive things that Prodigy Noobs definitely needed to look at was, do not let this go to overtime. Really focus fire and target properly. Take out everybody that you can, and they ended up staggering everybody really well. Instead of taking individual fights, they focused incredibly on, let's get this person, let's get that person, and made it so that it is a stagger back on the side of STC.
Okay, so Stardust here are going to be running the Rein Sigma double shield. Junkrat is coming out from Urava E and Coucher on the Echo. And we also have the Mercy Baptiste combo as well, so not too bad.
On attack, it looks like instead of...
On attack, it looks like we got a lever.
We have a pause. I was going to say, on attack, it looks like they were running that Mace Shield to kind of give, instead of teleporting to point, they're using the Mace Shield to kind of block that damage up, and then they were going to, from the looks of it, speed boost onto point, and I think that's what we are about to see, which I can 100%, I'm just going to double check that Wakucha is ready, and in chat and everything.
Honestly, that's probably the best time for someone to disconnect. That's going to take a lot of pressure off them, and they're pretty much going to be up one just before the fight even starts, so gotta love that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Really unfortunate for SCC, especially being on defense. So they are going to be down a person now, but if Mag Dragon is able, if Mag and Sai are able to kind of keep the heals up, they're all ready, so we can go. If they're able to keep the heals up to allow Wakucha to get back quickly, that will, it still is anyone's fight.
Yeah, it just makes things a little bit more difficult for the Crusaders.
But if I was going to say, if Pian can get some early picks and use these walls intelligently, then yes, this is what we can see. So
Unfortunately,
I definitely want to see a kind of back out.
Mag was in a position where they had to go for a res to sort of keep them in the fight, but King Tyrant said no. Both Reinhardts here, Strife and Tyrant, roughly at the same sort of percentage. I think it's going to come down to whoever gets the shatter first.
So advantage right now would be for PN, because they will have just that one ult quicker online than STC, but STC do have the spawn advantage, so it's just a matter of how do they play this.
Nice pick there from OTS Savage. And it looks like they are going to be able to snowball this. Are they going to get all 3 ticks though? Tai comes out, but taken out immediately by Novafile. Prodigy noobs are doing a really good job with the focus fire and just taking them out as soon as possible. Blizzard comes
Great
out.
job. Yeah.
Quite a nice combo.
Of, Wakucha being on the main, keeping that wall up for Strife to kind of charge into it, but it looks like PN still takes point with time on the clock.
Fair play to Stardust though. I think they were able to still take a little bit of time off that clock. So it could have been a lot worse, to be honest. But now I feel like the pressure is definitely on for Stardust.
Pressure's always on in these games, especially on this map. You don't really, especially with the map being 1-1 right now, this is not a map that you want to draw. It's kind of a win condition sort of map, especially if you don't want to go to map 5. Or if you don't want to kind of be down in the series, you want to make an impact on map 3.
Ares popping on the Mei there, yeah, he was getting some clean headshots. I think the Blizzard did help, but yeah, doing a lot of work there as well. Speaking of little Ares, it looks like he's going to be on a Torb this time around with Nova on the Ashe. And they're actually going to be running a Hog Sigma with their classic sort of support lineup.
Am I muted? Am I back?
Yes, you're back. Okay, Stardust here are going to be running with the dive again, but no monkey this time around. They're going to be running the ball.
Good first hook there from King, able to kind of stop the momentum from ball from moving.
Mag needs to be careful.
A lot of low health tanks on both of these teams.
Nice rock there from Sleep Shake. Nova with a nice pick onto Mag as well. Oh, both supports taken out by Nova.
Right, quick ult here on the side of Wakucha, but taken out before able to drop a Molten Core down.
You gotta leave the baby diva. Oh, they got her just in the end.
It looks like they might, I think on the side of SDC, they might be playing for a bit of a hack bomb, which you can never complain about that. It's just a matter of how does PM move once that comes into play.
A what, sorry? A what bomb?
Hack bomb.
Tack bomb?
Hack.
Hack
I don't
bomb.
say EMP. I say hack.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, wait, soldier's not in here. Tack visor? Yeah, your Rabbit E is getting pretty close to the EMP as well, so...
I like that PN is willing to use ults to kind of phase them back and keep the time differential and help beat it off, but it might have been a little early there for that engagement.
Are we going to see the Molten Core coming out? Little Ares is really low there. Your Rabbit E with the hack finds 4. Is it going to be enough? Looks like picks are more so in favour of Prodigy Noobs right now, though Stardust Crusaders are getting quite a few picks now in their favour. Oh, it looks like they're actually going to be able to turn this around and take it.
Yeah. EMP was definitely useful to kind of take Bob out of that fight for a little bit, especially because Bob was in the corner, not quite touching point.
Yeah, I think the EMP also taking out the sort of abilities for the other 4 that your Rabbit got hacked just made it that much more easy for them to cap point. I think without that EMP it would have been really difficult there.
If SDC wants to keep this, sort of competitive in regards to the time here, though, they do need to kind of snowball this point a little bit, which will be tough compared to the ults that we have coming online if Prodigy Noobs are able to build them.
Grab does come out. Are we going to see a combo with Wakaucha? And a big tire. That's definitely what they needed. I think Savage got a little bit scared because Savage was pretty much on this top pedestal with Wakaucha, but placed the lamp on himself instead of the team.
And I'm really smart there from SDC to kind of push up and play into spawn, force 3 of the Prodigy Noobs back so that they weren't able to kind of come out, nor have enough time to go switch direction with how much of the point that they had already capped there.
Oh man, 1 minute each.
Those 4 seconds are important, don't count them out.
The difference between life and death. I wonder if the teams are going to be going for the same sort of comps here, or if they're going to try and mix things up.
I wouldn't mind seeing almost a bunker down, honestly, to kind of help hold this point.
No bunker for you.
No bunker.
Looks like we're going to get Brawl from both sides. Stardust Crusaders going with a McCree and May. Again with their same support line.
Aggressive dive on defense. Play at their spawn. That would be a new one. Play on the ship.
I mean, you can actually go for a dive here. You usually have like a Winston set up here. On that little top pedestal where Torbjorn's tried putting their turret.
Unstoppable force versus immovable object. That is exactly what is occurring right now.
Okay, so what's happening? Interesting hold, actually. Oh. Bye-bye, Strife. No, the team is going to join Strife. Okay, the wall does come out by Wakaucha, but I think there was a little gap for them to get out there. Wakaucha is in a really poor position right now. A nice wall, actually, to get them out of that.
Nice counter wall on the side of PM, though. But I really like the ping-ponging here from the tanks on the side of SDC to try and protect each other. It just seems...
Oh, Tyrant just putting in work.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems that Prodigy Noobs want this point, and they want to make sure it's theirs.
Yeah, pretty clean take there from Prodigy. They've only got 30 seconds coming into this next fight. Both Rhines are really close to their ults. Nova as well. Oh man, we're going to see a triangle fest for the overtime fight here now. Nova finding 2. Oh, unfortunately, I think Strife whiffed that shatter, but might not have mattered anyway. Oh, your Rabbit with 2 picks there, and actually flashbanging. That's huge.
I was gonna say the mail from Akucha I think got a little overthrown there due to I want to say the charge, but your Revity was able to kind of help recover that.
Yeah, I don't want to say Uravity has carried a second team fight now, but Uravity has carried a second team fight. Getting the 2K with the High Noon and then flashbanging the Mei.
Definitely help them stall and hold second point to allow no taking.
Still solid. I mean, you know, with just 1 minute on the time bank, they were able to get point A. And did they get any ticks from point B?
No.
No. Okay, so here's the bunker that you were looking for. Prodigy Noobs going for a classic double shield. They've got the Torb and Ash. I'm surprised that they don't sort of play a Junkrat here, but we'll see how that pans out with the Mercy and Baptiste.
It's smart though because we have seen that Okucha likes to play these sort of more divey kind of characters. So having that Ash initially to deal with the Echo will be really good for them.
Now it looks like Wakaucha has swapped going onto the Junkrat. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if they pulled out a Widow here, but I suppose with only 1 minute on the clock, pressure is definitely on.
Sort of early spam damage here. I like the fact that Theon are taking sort of different angles, kind of split a bit.
They do need to get rid of that turret though. There we go, Uravity able to take out the turret. Stripe Shield is actually doing a lot of work there, able to keep pretty much all of his team up since they were hiding behind it. Now Pic's going back and forth, so Domi and Wakucha are doing a lot of work.
Sleep in an unfortunate precarious position there, had to drop no matter what to stop point.
Oh, I think that was the second fat finger of the night.
Fat finger or making sure the team stays alive?
I don't know. I mean,
you could justify that somehow.
I thought saying it's a fat finger is justifying it.
It's like Little Aries debated switching off of the tour, but decided to kind of stick with it, which is smart, almost having this ult.
A lot of damage being peppered from Sleep Shake here. Pic's going back and forth.
Nice wall from your Revity, able to stop the charge from Ping.
Sleep Shake was able to get Wakaucha just in time before they went under the bridge. Mad Dragon with the Koa is able to take Nova. Are they going to be able to keep this up?
Ooh, and that is a beautiful soccer net from
That's
Savage.
a big freeze. It's a very big freeze. Still anyone's game right now. We might see the classic Wakaucha tie out. Is he going to get anyone? Does get Cloud.
Impactful it takes the healer out.
Wakaucha and Mad Dragon on their own against the world. Wakaucha doing a lot of work actually. And Sidomia makes it back just in time. But does get taken out by the orb and... Whew.
We are now 2-1 PN.
I mean, you could tell both teams wanted that. Damn.
Shut down from your Revity.
Was it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gets the double and then flashbang. Yeah, seeing some, you can definitely tell that Uravity is mechanically gifted, just doing a lot of work. That was a map of clutches, I agree.
And it looks like Tantalizers have won 3-2 against Pizza Planet. For Route 66 now, we already have one of our lineups.
Give me one moment. Gotta move everybody around.
The fun of being a caster.
I think that's about right. If you want to read me the lineup.
Hopkins and Strife are on tank.
Yep.
DPS same, and we have Panda for Sai.
Okay, it's looking good.
If you just make Hopkins and Strife switch, it would settle my OCD. Appreciate you.
How's that?
I hate you. The team probably hates you.
And Hopkins first, you said, yeah?
Yes. And then on the side of PN, tanks are the same, DPS are the same, and we have Stell for Lemon. And you gotta switch those spectators a bit.
That's the wrong one. It's looking good.
My Prodigy cuties are giving me heart attacks. They're giving everybody heart attacks right now.
Lots of people are going to be flat out tired after this match. Yeah, you can tell that both teams are just giving it their all. Honestly, you can tell that both teams really want this as well. I think it's the first time in a while I've seen the Crusaders be put on the back burner though.
And we have readies from both teams. I like the promptness that both teams want to just get right back into this.
Yeah, I think we're dying to sort of see the outcome as well. It's very possible that it's going to go to a map 5 like you were saying earlier. What do you think's in the Cave of Mystery?
A spawn point?
You got me there.
It's so mysterious. If you can take point one. If you don't take point one, it's a mystery.
So it looks like Stardust here are going to be running the classic Rein Zarya with Uravity on Junk, Wukaucha on the Ashe, and we got the Mercy Moira this time around, so interesting how they're not going for a Lucio. But I think they need the sort of pocket for Wukaucha.
And then on the side of Peon attack, it looks like we're getting the Hog Sigma along with a Pharah, Mei, and a Baptiste Mercy. You guys love that we read these team comps out to you. Because you can't see.
Wukaucha starting things off strong. Yep, taking out Nova. We are going to see the res from Stell Bells.
A good rise there at that because Novafile is able to kind of answer in turn against Fusion.
I'm liking this position from Sleep Shake actually, taking that high ground from up top. Stardust here
Really?
actually having to back out.
I was gonna say the PM's doing a really good job of just playing extremely aggro right now and really making a lot of space. Granted, nobody, or well, not nobody, one person is on point, just slowly moving the payload.
Yeah, I think Nova is putting in a lot of pressure in the back lines, which sort of helped push them back.
I like to see the Sigma Shield is being used to kind of cancel out the Ashe right now, so it definitely kind of gives low impact for Lupita.
And a fairly early barrage coming out as well, able to take out Uravity. I don't know if Nova's gonna stick onto the Pharah this time around, since we are seeing the double hit scans come out, and will couch on his signature Widow.
That's where they hide Overwatch 2 in the Cave of Mysteries. I like it. You see, Lucia make the change to the Widow that we've been talking about all night, so.
Yeah, Prodigy making a lot of progress here as well on the cart. It's pretty much going to be a one fight for the streets phase. The Blizzard comes out and actually gets Strife in a really weird angle, but and Hopkins does have the grab. Is he going to use it here? Uses it on the Mei coming out of the
Blizzard in a weird angle. Sorry. Blizzard in a weird angle, but it was able to force the rest of the team to kind of drop the point there to touch point.
Oh, Uravity. Man, it seems like Prodigy noobs just want to keep giving Uravity play of the game. What is going on? And finally, it looks like Stardust Crusaders are able to halt progress. Definitely needed, because the time was looking really good for the noobs at the moment. So that being said, noobs do have a few decent ults coming into this next fight. If I was Strife, I'd want to get that shatter out as quick as possible. Oh, King Tyrant takes out Coucher. Shatter does come out. It was a pretty big one, but I don't think the damage was there. And Hopkins is taken out of Mech, and the Blizzard comes out as well. Oh, a nice rock from Sleep Shake to take Token Panda out of Coalescence. And Coucher was able to take out Nova with a Helix rocket, but picks are still heavily in favor of the noobs at the moment. That being said, Strife has already made it back, so it's going to halt their progress. Never mind, Strife just got melted. Uravity wanted to go for a big hero play yet again, but unfortunately, Tyrant seems to be getting used to his sort of flanky ults.
Meg able to get a res off onto Ant Hopkins, who was able to get back in mech, so we'll be able to stall for a couple more seconds for the team to if we get back in touch.
Yeah, even though it's pretty much a definite win for the streets phase, it's looking like Stardust are doing a really good job in holding so far. Well, at least stalling.
As I say, their spawn does not end up changing due to it, so even just kind of stalling to touch for a couple of last seconds there isn't going to really super hurt them.
Yeah, Stardust, I think it was about 2 minutes they just took off the clock there, just by... They got the first fight win and then they just started trickling in one by one. Otherwise we would have seen Prodigy noobs here with 5 minutes coming into the third phase. But a nice early pick from Uravity. Yep. with Coucher following up with that. And the DPS putting in a lot of work here for Stardust Crusaders. It's pretty much gonna put a stop to the noobs right now. Tyrant
King
was found out of
unfortunately
position.
Yeah, I was gonna say King a little bit unfortunate in the background, which makes for a bit of a stagger now because the team will have to wait another second here before they have him back and are able to push in.
But we do see a lot of ults on the side for both teams actually. What's that, another 8-9 ults coming into this next fight, possibly? I'm gonna take a guess and say we're gonna see a bomb coming out.
9 ults with 3 almost online again.
Oh, and a huge heat from Ant. So a lot of ults being used from Prodigy noobs. I would have liked to see them sort of communicate a little bit more. I think King Tyrant did Stardust a favor there by pushing them out of the way of Nova's Blossom.
I was gonna say either the Sigma ult or that bomb were gonna be impactful, but I really like that Sleep Shake kind of went around the corner to make sure they were not going to be kind of hit by that. But unfortunately, they weren't able to find anybody in the ult.
Well, Coucher with the copy was able to take out King Tyrant with the Blossom as well. And I mean, the fights are a bit scrappy, but it seems like Stardust here are just sort of holding on with the sort of holds. It's going to be tough for Prodigy noobs to take this the whole way with Uravity getting his, or using his ult this last fight, and Mad Dragon's going to be coming in soon with a Valk.
You're already doing a good job of keeping high ground to always get some constant damage in early on when PN try and push. So I'm happy to see that King sort of chased him off of high ground there.
Looks like Uravity is going to be going for another flank noon. And that's a big pick, taking out Sleep Shake. Unfortunately, the lamp didn't come out quick enough from Savage. And that's going to be enough. Big shatter just to guarantee the fight there in the end.
But PN had really good progress there the entire time.
Yeah, I think things were looking really healthy for them at the start and sort of middle. But towards the end it was getting really difficult for them. I mean, how many times are they going to let him do that? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, a McCree can sort of come from any angle, top left, top right, especially on Route 66. It is awkward. I do agree that they should be sort of on the lookout and keep cooldowns to stop him, but in the sort of heat of the moment with, 20 seconds left, it's difficult trying to keep a track of him.
And the way that Uravity personally chooses, from what I've seen, to play McCree, he can be very in the fight or on the flank. So sometimes it's definitely hard to tell how he's choosing to play that character. It's definitely a matter of ult tracking. If you know Uravity has that McCree ult, the high noon, then you should really be watching all angles. But it can be a really tough thing to kind of be aware of, because even if Uravity's not necessarily getting a lot of kills initially, he's doing a lot of damage and putting in a lot of work. So he has that ult even if you don't expect him to have it.
And like Crypto was saying, like, with the Sigma nerf, just, putting out a shield to stop him is really difficult now. I think it takes like 3 seconds, and that feels like ages, especially when there's a McCree trying to high noon you. So how are we looking for comps then? On the attacking side for Stardust, it looks like they're going for the Rein Zarya. We'll couch it on the Widow along with the McCree. So they're running a double hit scan this time around with the Moira and Zen. So interesting support combo.
Yeah, I like the idea. Instead of playing the Sigma, now we're back on the Diva to kind of try and eat a little bit better here. On top of having this Sim and the Ashe to help deal some long damage back. The Sim teleport will be good for PN here to try and get back to point quickly. I like that they all are kind of rotating back a little bit and playing more defensively right now.
Yeah, they're gonna have a healthy second fight because of this, because of the TP as well, and they won't have to worry too much about ults. Though that being said, Uravity does have a high noon. I wonder if we're gonna see a flank noon coming out.
As long as there's no early picks, I think that PN are in a very healthy position here. That shield really helping to protect them from Mokusha.
And Hopkins does get a pick. Make that 2. OTS does take out Wakaucha though. Estelle Bell's gonna go for a res. Oh, unfortunately, I don't know if that was a C9 or... I mean, it was going to be an eventual win for the Crusaders there.
And Crusaders were able to kind of draw Bob out from Nova File, which is unfortunate, but, you know, Ashe is able to kind of build that up very quickly, especially if you land good dynamites and good shots.
Uravity does get a clean headshot onto OTS Savage there. But the res comes out from Stelbell, so don't need to wait too long for a team regroup. But look at the ult difference on both teams. I think that pick there was definitely needed. Uravity does come back and take out Nova. Strife with a pick of his own, though picks are sort of even at the moment.
Stream died for Bulky, so Bulky might want to just kind of go reset.
Sleep Shake being chased. Are they going to be able to get out?
Looking like that will be a yes. I like the pressure we're seeing here from Mokusha and the purple orb from Token Panda to kind of stop them from coming top right.
This might be juicy.
Juicy enough to help take down the Rhine shield so that the rest of STC can make quick work and get a team fight.
Yeah, it was a nice lamp from OTS Savage, but I mean, Uravity would just needed to wait and pile on the damage, and even if, you know, he didn't get any kills from it, everyone would have been at like 20 or 40 health.
Uravity's kind of a monster. Sorry, Crypto.
What?
Crypto had a little bit of a spelling mistake there, so I'm trying to pronounce it.
Monster?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
And I come back just to see a nice shot from Strife that the heals are there to keep Tyrant alive.
That was a great sort of immort field there from Savage on top of the window here to allow them to keep their presence right now.
Oh, and that combo with the Fire Strike, able to take out both healers there.
That will entirely stop STC's push right now. So
and that's all what they needed.
Yeah, STC does have some ults online. I'll be interested to see how this Zen ult can help them pushing forward. They almost have, you know, Uravity almost has High Noon, they have the Coffee, they have the Koa.
Who's gonna ult first?
Nudes are coming up on almost 4 to 5 themselves.
Couch, you're pressing L1. Fortunately, went a little too far, so the rest of Prodigy noobs were able to get them out of that Rhine copy.
And that's, I was gonna say, gonna be big. Picking up both tanks immediately is definitely a good look.
Looks like Ares is sort of sussing out the flank.
Especially as we did see 2 ults used on the side of STC while PN continued to kind of just build these back up.
Yeah, I think PN pretty much have 4 ults into this next fight. I mean, you do have an okay amount for Stardust, but I think they should come into this trying to bait out a couple of ults if they can. It's only one fight that they need to win, and they've got 2 minutes, so...
Sleep Shake caught out a little unfortunate there in that situation, was separated from the team, has a Discord Orb, and then we saw Wakucha kind of just pop up there to follow up to make sure was taken down.
Yeah, well, Kelcher doing a good job just chasing him down. Uravity up top. Does get Nova as well. Oh, Uravity with these flashbangs tonight. Seeing a triangle party right now.
Second Ryan ult on fight.
Oh man.
And we go to map 5!
Map
Everybody wants a
5.
Map 5.
You heard it here first, folks.
So, interesting in that fight because your Revity, I feel like, almost used that high noon, yes, to try and get some big damage in, but also kind of sort of zone a little bit in that situation, zone PN together a little bit, which allowed the rest of STC to very much follow up on getting those kills. Strife, you're a beautiful Horde Ornament. I appreciate you for doing what you needed to do. But those are some really nice numbers there from both teams in regards to the healing and everything that they did. The damage output that they were doing, especially against like double shield comps that we saw.
Yeah, it's still impressive to see. I don't think they often focus the shield. They do their best to sort of use their mag on actual health bars, and you just see the amount of damage that comes out from both teams and the amount of heals. So I think it's going back to the unstoppable force. This is the immovable object.
So to Busan we go, and we have a lineup.
Man, no messing about from these teams, huh?
I like it. I very much appreciate it.
The score is 2-2, Kitty, going into map 5 now.
Both teams tonight doing a very impressive, or games tonight doing a really impressive job of taking us to a map 5. So, as I said at the start of the stream, I was really interested in both of these games. I thought they were gonna go incredibly well. Pizza Planet and Tantalizers, I think, are, due to score, a little underrated, but I think both teams have a lot of drive and want and are very hungry to really get kind of more deeper into the league. So I was really curious and interested in how both are going to end up here. And then tonight's game too, which obviously is very aggressive and very interesting.
Yes, incredibly back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes sort of 1-1 and then 99-99 for map 3.
Mm-hmm.
But just waiting on the swaps.
So Eldrick for Strife.
Yep.
And then we have Wakucha, and actually Strife is DPSing.
Yep.
And then we have Panda and Sai mixing, or I'm sorry, Panda out for Sai.
Okay, and on the side of noobs?
And on the side of noobs, we are getting Nexi and Nomi for tank.
Yep.
We have Ares and Nova still, and then we have Boss and Cloud for support. And then do me that big favor and switch Wakucha and Strife. I'm sorry, my OCD. I have to go with the lineups in the orders that they're given. That they're given to me.
Alright, I'm just gonna have to give you host for a hot sec.
Well, we can't go anywhere until you're back, because you control the cameras, and I don't think anyone wants to stare in a spawn door.
No, I'll be here. I just need to have a little chat. So, give me 2 minutes. I mean, you can start the game whenever. I'll be here with the cameras.
Okay, well, when we get the readies then, that means we will go. Chat, what are we hoping to see? We saw a very quick 2-point hard hold with those sim turrets and the Lucier speed boost on the side of PN. And we saw initially die from SDC, but then they switched quickly. So looking back at map 1, do we want to see SDC kind of roll out with more of a brawl comp to kind of deal with that in anticipation? Or are you hoping that they still kind of run this dive and hope that it works for them? Are there going to be interviews? Once Sebby comes back, we can see. We got to remember he is an EU man, and it's like 4 a.m. for him. So, not entirely sure if there's going to be interviews after the game tonight. If there are interviews, they would be very like quick, cut dry kind of things. Okay, so we have a different lineup for Busan. So let's see. We're gonna switch something real quick. We have your Revity coming back in. I should also take this time to make sure I have pause bound because I will be controlling everything until our good host comes back. Let's see what I have pause bound to.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
Oh, and you're back. You're back. I was just having a temporary panic attack over the fact that I don't know what pause was bound to.
It sounds like it. Don't worry, I'm here.
Saving the day.
We won't let any pauses go unpaused.
I'm gonna run downstairs for un momento and be right back.
Oh, now I have to carry it.
Yep, now you have to.
Okay, so I think we're just waiting on the readies. Chat, what do you guys think coming into map 5? Who's going to take it? Honestly, with the way both teams have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if either team won it, but I don't know, it's a tough call. I think it pretty much goes down to who wants it more. And I was seeing a few comments about, yeah, some people being spent after 4 maps. This is going to be, you know, some people's 5th map as well, so yeah, I can definitely see a couple of them getting tired now. Mexy's ball is good enough to deal with Widow. I think I've seen Mexy's ball a few times, and yeah, they do a lot of work, but I don't know if I can see a ball on Busan. Maybe on the train map? Downtown, that's the one. I think Dive is quite good on the inside one, especially like a monkey. Monkey ball, monkey diva. Because you can pretty much change, you know, your position going from low ground to high ground just by one cooldown. And usually the high ground gives you a massive advantage on the inside map. Does anyone know what it's called? I don't even remember it. I think we'll call it inside map from now on.
And we have ready
SDC.
from both sides.
Okay, so let's get going. SDC liked dive, but it didn't work on the first control map. I don't know if they'll go back to. I mean, they seem to be getting a bit more comfortable with dives coming into the maps, but whether they want to go dive on a control map again, I can see them maybe not electing to go that route. Mecha base, that's the one. And we actually do start off with mecha base, so it's going to be the moment of truth. Truth.
True.
So what do you think about map 5 then? What do you think the outcome is going to be? Not necessarily who wins it, but what sort of team is going to need to do their
Big
best
question
to...
is, whose fantasy relies on map 5? That's a big question.
I think I'm out of the race regardless.
Honestly, I really cannot pick a winner after everything that we've seen all night. This first map being played will, I think, be a bit of a determining factor, but at the same time it might not be because both teams tend to swap and switch accordingly to each other. As long as STC don't make the same kind of swaps we saw in the beginning where they were giving up some ults and giving up some things, I think it can be either way.
Speaking of swaps and changes here, both teams have a pretty much mirror comp. The only difference being Wakaucha on the Junk and Nova on the Reaper here. A lot of damage being pummeled from both sides, but looking like Stardust yeah, Stardust are slowly starting to take this their way and forcing the noobs to go back to spawn.
They only sent one to take point, while the rest kept the presence up here to kind of force noobs back a little bit. So really happy to see that OCDC did not kind of run the dive out and they're playing to their strength, which is definitely more of a tight-knit comp, Rein Zarya. They really need to pay attention to this rotation right now, which it looks like
it's a nice wall
on both sides.
Shat does come out, but unfortunately the block was there from Eldritch and the Coalescence from Boss. It's gonna be tough. Oh, I'm so sad that I missed that, but we saw the outline. Wakaucha there with a 5k.
We'll see it in the play of the game, potentially.
Oh, potentially?
Both of the Meis on these teams had some really great walls for that initial fight, especially that left sort of rotation that we saw. They were able to kind of wall each other off in different ways.
We do see the blizzard, but good job from noobs to sort of quickly get out of it.
I was gonna say, PN has some really great rotations right now, and we're kind of seeing that be followed up on, especially if they do get another pick. In regards to their presence on point and what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think Stardust even noticed that PN went onto point until they were on point. Yeah, neither did I.
That was just so clean and so fast. Great use of a barrier there from Cloud11 to kind of keep the team up.
And Novafile putting in a lot of work there, so Idomia does take him out.
Yeah, a decent amount of ults used, but it was definitely important to kind of flip that point, especially because it is getting to kind of a one-fight territory here for STC.
Yeah, I think if I were Prodigy noobs, I'd want to really start staggering my ults. They do have quite a few online, but...
I was going to say, we'll be curious if they make the same rotation, but it looks like PN are a lot quicker to rotate and more aware of it.
And a nice wall to split Eldritch, but Eldritch actually doing a lot of work with that pin, was able to take out Mexi. You're getting
Eldritch,
2 picks there. Make that
Eldritch
3.
kind of backed into that ult, and I think it was a little bit purposely there to make sure the rest of the team stayed protected. It's always nice to kind of see a Reinhardt do that, because you don't really want to throw yourself into an ult, but, you know, throw yourself into the grab, make sure the whole team stays up. It's definitely a smart move.
Nice block there from Little Aries, and the grab comes out, finds 1. Oh, sorry, was that 2? I think Boss just got out of it. The Stardust here have managed to take it. I think we are going to see one more fight. It looks like Prodigy noobs are going to have to initiate this with their only ult being the tire. Needs to be a big tire. That's I'll take that. That's a big tire. Well, Coucher does take out his counterpart though.
Taking out a support's always a big tire.
But it actually looks like we're going to see a point flip.
Not without a fight, though.
Yeah, solid focus fire here from Prodigy noobs. Good job from Hack Dragon to back out there.
Yeah, also smart of Eldrick to kind of hold that ult, you know, knowing that it definitely was a lost fight. Sometimes in those pressured situations, you do use those ults, not kind of realizing that the whole team's dead behind you or anything like that. So I like the restraint that we saw.
Okay, so Nova onto the Tracer. I don't know if that was to get back to point quicker or just comfort swap, but a nice block. It's quite a clutch block actually as well.
That's a really nice charge from Eldrick to kind of negate PN being able to really do anything with those two ults. And now this is just a fight for life on point.
Nova was actually doing a lot of work. I'm glad I caught that. But between him and Uravity, or excuse me, him and Little Ares. But in a 2v5 situation.
They're doing a great job of stalling to kind of allow the rest of the team to come back, even though the point did get flipped.
Ults are being invested now. This is a 99-99. Everyone has to use their ult. Picks are going way more in favor of Stardust Crusaders now.
This is the kind of match and intensity in these fights that definitely remind you of, you know, playoffs and finals.
Yeah, definitely.
It's 99-99, and I feel like we're going to see that at every single.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I don't know if my heart can take it.
I just gotta say, this happens to always be a thing on this map. Mercies, watch the train. Watch the train. Please.
Always look both ways when you cross the street.
You can play in the danger field, but you know, gotta get on out. So it looks like we are getting a dive actually from the side of PN this time, or partial dive at least I should say. We have a little bit more of a standard comp on the side of FTC.
Yeah, I think chat were talking about Mexi going on board to deal with Wakaucha. It's like they looked into a crystal ball actually. For downtown.
Stream snipe before it even happens.
Novafile does take out Wakaucha, so he's got pretty much free reign coming into this fight now. Novafile should be able to just get in a ton of damage. There it is, able to take out Cydomia as well. Mexi able to take out Uravity, but Uravity did take out Little Ares before he went out.
But STC is able to cap point first, even though this does look more advantageous on the side, I think, of PN.
Yeah, Stardust were able to cap point because they had the majority of their players on point, but it actually looks like they're gonna flip that.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Quite impressive. Looked like everything was going in the favor of Prodigy.
Yeah, PN had definitely a disruptive comp and kind of were everywhere, but I think while that's a boon, that also was a bit of a con in that moment for them because there was no super focus on one individual person, and STC really capitalized upon that.
Okay, so let's see if Wakaucha can take out Nova. Nova is doing a really good job keeping Wakaucha at bay here. Giving too much space is just going to allow Wakaucha to pop off.
Kirby, they didn't lose the finals, they just ended up losing a fight because of it, basically. So we always make the joke. And then it happened almost immediately after in another game.
Spicy Nomi just bonking Uravity in the head.
Really
and we
nice
do see,
flip there.
yeah, we do see a flip, but I mean that's a lot of percentage for Stardust Crusaders. I think Prodigy Noobs need to play carefully now.
Definitely a good numbered percentage there for them to be up that much.
Okay, we do see a lot of ults online here.
Glad to
Are we
see
gonna
that BN have changed to more brawl comp, which I think suits them a lot better than that sort of dive comp was.
Fortunately, the bomb didn't actually find anyone. It looked like it was gonna be quite juicy, but you do see the
really
flip.
Good double bubble from Ant Hopkins to 100% guarantee that him and Eldrick were both going to live through that, just in case that the shield was broken.
Oh, that's a big shatter. I think that was definitely needed. Actually putting the team on their back, and they are going to be able to flip the point, but things are looking pretty hairy right now. Stardust Crusaders do have a few ults coming into this next fight. You could argue that between Nova, Cloud and Spicy, they may have enough to take it to 100%, but we'll have to see. Stardust do have quite a few juicy ults of their own. That's exactly what you wanted. Nova able to get two, but yeah, still an even fight right now.
Smart, really focused there from Ant Hopkins to take down one of the supports. But it looks like we are going to get the res.
Oh, and a big pick. Magdragon being out of the fight while they were so close to Coalescence is massive. The shatter does come out, and little Ares is out of the fight due to that. Do you see another bomb come out? I think that was a little too high to actually do any serious damage there.
And Magdragon comes in with this Koa to try and sort of take out these tanks.
Looking like Urabity is just it's just another day at the office for Urabity here, and it's looking like they're going to take it.
We had chat asking if we were going to be doing post-game interviews.
I mean, we can do real quick. I think I am getting a little bit tired, but I haven't got any questions preloaded. If you have some, I want to bring one or two people on to have a quick chat. We could deal with that. Oh, this was the big tire, wasn't it? Couch it, take a bow.
I don't have any loaded, so we're going to kind of be swinging by our pants, but we can make this work. We got this. But in the meantime, we can discuss our MVP noms, or our MVPs.
Yep.
And our opinions. I've let them know that we are willing to do a post-game interview if they'd like to volunteer someone up. MVPs. Where do we want to start?
I mean, I always start on tanks. I think everyone sort of played really well tonight. It's honestly difficult for me to say who beat who in this instance. It's a tough one. I think Ant Hopkins, Eldritch, I think Strife was also tanking. All doing a fantastic job. It's honestly really tough. I'm just gonna have to give it to you here to choose.
Oh, yikes. So, yeah, we saw Ant Hopkins, we saw Eldrix, we saw Strife, we also saw Sleep Shake, we saw King. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty partial to either, I'm gonna say Eldrix or King. Really just strong, impressive Rhine plays from both of them. A lot of blocked shatters. There were a couple of overcharge moments on both sides. I actually think both of them played well against each other. I think there were times that King really shone. especially on the Rhine and on sometimes, the Sigma and especially on the Roadhog. But I do think Eldrick maybe just edged out a little bit, um, just by more so playing with the team, I guess, in situations, and being there to really truly block shatters. There were a couple of times that we saw everybody get a couple of ults off that maybe should have been covered and or blocked. I'm thinking specifically on and I could be wrong. I don't know if it was Sleep Shake or King. The Sigma on Route 66 third point. Your Brevity was behind, and I think the Sigma thought he still had Eat and did not have Eat.
Yeah, I think between the two, they were both doing a really good job. Don't I think I was saying earlier, I don't think I've seen King Tyrant before, but yeah, he was doing a really good job on the Rhine and Sigma. But yeah, like you were saying, I feel like Eldritch was doing a better job with blocking the shatters throughout the night. There was a few key shatters that he blocked, just stopping any sort of snowball from happening uh,
Uh,
from the side of
Nom
Prodigy Noobs.
Noms are Nova and Mexi, and your Brevity and Wakucha.
Nova Mexi,
Um,
Revity, Kucha. Okay.
so I think that means we're good on Eldrick from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Mexi and Nom definitely playing really well together, as we were talking about earlier. Do have the synergy there as well, and it's really fun to watch them play. But yeah, I feel like I think everyone was in the race tonight, but I think Eldritch just being able to block a few more shatters sort of edged out the rest of the competition.
So then, okay, so we can go with Eldrix. Let's move to DPS. DPS is actually tough, in my opinion. I think all four that we saw, and Strife, I do want to call out Strife, especially because of that first bomb on first map, did really well. For me, granted, Wakucha and Ares did incredibly well. It has to come down to Year Revity and Nova. And I'm a little torn between the two of them. Both of them made incredible plays for their teams and really just helped win a lot of different fights. I am totally in the wrong, in my opinion, if I don't go with your Revity, unfortunately. I think your Revity just, not even with just the McCree plays, but that Bastion on Numbani to help them hold point and keep that point. The way that your Revity was moving, I'm pretty hard set on your Revity.
I think, yeah, I think Nova was doing a fantastic job, on the Pharah and Reaper especially. You could tell with their positioning and just mechanics alone, they were doing a ton of work. But like you were saying, I think Uravity had quite a few clutch moments that Prodigy Noobs couldn't stop. Like you were talking about, like the Bastion, for example, and the McCree on Anubis, and I'm sure he had a few others as well that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I feel like just all around he was doing a ton of work throughout the night. Um, so I think my vote would have to be Uravity for DPS.
Okay. So that's two settled. What you think of her supports? You tell me.
Mm, it's a tough one. I think with the way the DPS played all night, it makes it even more difficult because we saw the really nice Immort fields, but then we saw the DPS also playing smartly enough to either use their ults outside of it or wait for the Immort. We saw some really nice reses, really clutch beats from like Cydomia, um, and like the Matrixes from Cloud, and it's tough. Uh, I'm just gonna have to again go with a name. I think it's because my brain is fried because it's 4 a.m. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Boss. No, I'm gonna go with Cloud.
So, for what I came down to was I think all of the supports played really well. We saw amazing reses and koas from, so reses from Boss and from Meg. We saw great koas from Meg. I was going to come, Token did a great job too when Panda was in. I was coming down between Psy and Cloud. I do think some of the beats from both of them were really impactful for the teams. We saw a couple of fat fingers at different points. I do think though that Cloud's beats were just a little tad more on point than Psy's were, and we saw points where Cloud, I talked about it on Anubis, used a boop to keep SDC off a point, and then that boop was followed up by a charge. So that was really good communication on cooldowns and such as that. At least in my opinion. Granted, we're not in their chats, we can't hear what they're doing, but it seemed coordinated. And I think just some of the matrices really helped, or Amort Fields really helped keep the team up. I would go with Cloud in this situation, in my opinion.
Okay, so it looks like we're actually in agreement for once. This is a rare sight.
Once in a blue moon. Let me see if anybody wanted to do any post-game interviews. Tag Mag and we'll tag Boss. Boss wants to, so we'll bring on Boss first.
Okay, let me just invite him in. How the hell do I do that?
You just click on his name and you invite him to the group.
There is no invite to group.
Oh, well, Boss, come. Are you friends with Boss?
Am I friends with Boss? Are you friends with Boss? Can you invite him?
It's a matter, I think, of if he's online or not. And then the co-captain for SDC will be, your Revity will be the one coming for the interview on the side of SDC. So, there we go. Now we have a Boss.
I think he might still be in the party chat or team chat.
Hello?
Hello,
There he
we
is.
go.
Hey, sorry, I was still in match chat.
That's what we figured, something was happening along those lines.
How's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you doing?
You were giving us a heart attack all night.
Are you guys coming down from the high of that game like we are?
From the heart attack, from the big heart attack here that we had going on. Obviously, coming into this matchup, this is a very important matchup, a really big one for you guys. How did you prepare for this?
I think in the last 10 days, we've had 8 scrims.
I don't miss those days.
Non-stop scrims. We've even faced our tier 2 team to prepare for a much harder opponent, and that has proved to be really good for like mental fortitude. What I'm so proud of my team on is we can walk in and we can lose, but then get right back in and keep going. So yeah.
And
Yeah, I think the go ahead.
I was gonna say, even though you guys obviously did not get the win tonight, this was an incredible game back and forth. We commented on stream at one point that this was almost a playoff-esque, finals-esque sort of game. And just what you guys showed was absolutely like heart-stopping to kind of to sort of watch in a lot of different moments there.
Yeah, we wanted to be sure that like we knew. Like, we wanted to be the team that gave Stardust their first loss. But at the same time, we have so much respect for the players on the team, and as you could tell, like, Mag and I get along really well and have so much respect for each other. So, like, at the end of the day, like, we're still really glad and proud and happy for them. But of course, we wanted to take the dub.
And Boss, I wanted to ask why the nominations for Uravity and Wakaucha?
I think it goes without saying their DPS line is the best. One of the best in Tier 3. Really challenging to kind of counter and to deal with. Just thinking back to Route 66 and the flanking McCree non-stop in our backline. Yep. I was sitting on the bench screaming, like
Yep.
to myself, please look at the McCree in your backline, please, please.
Me and Chat were
just
talking
those
about that
plays,
for quite a bit.
Those
Yeah.
plays were insane from their DPS.
So I have
Okay.
2 questions. I don't know if Sebi has any more questions. But I
Yeah.
have 2 raised questions for you. First question is, King was a new pickup for you guys.
Yeah, this is his second game with us.
Yep. How do you feel you guys are synergizing with him? Because it looks very flawless. I actually honestly thought he had been a part of the org from the beginning. So you can see your 8 scrim work that you guys have put in here together. But how, not how did that pickup happen, but how has that really progressed for you guys here?
Yeah, so Eli's friends with a lot of the noobs in the server, and it just felt like a natural fit. He kind of came in, he trialed, he gels really well, and hopefully in the next couple of games you guys will actually see him on a couple of DPS maps, because he brings some really exciting DPS that we don't already have on our roster. So overall, he's just been such a great addition to the team, and he gels really nicely with Sleep as well. Their character pools together really work.
Yeah, it looks like your tank's energy is actually, off the charts, really. So I was surprised to see that he was, a relatively new pickup for you guys. And like you were saying, it looks like, all this scrim is paying off big time.
Yeah.
And then my second question, the nominations from the other team were Nova and Mexi. Who do you feel on your team was standoutish tonight? It doesn't have to be either of them. It can be either of them. But who do you really feel kind of really helped your team to make this hard 3-2 for you guys?
Honestly, I have to say, like, of course, I give Mexi and Naomi all the credit in the world nonstop, but I'm gonna show my DPS some love today. I've challenged Ares specifically over the last few weeks to pick up some characters and put him into a bit of an uncomfortable learning scenario for him. He's picked up some great characters. You saw some of his pickups this evening. Really wanted to showcase his skill in general. And then Nova, in terms of consistency, I just think she just brings such a consistent presence and damage output to the team. I mean, the both of them, I'm really proud of how they played today.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. If I'm being honest, it's like I said. I talked about it on stream once or twice now already. Somebody brought it up in Overwatch Talk that who was going to be the better tank line, the better DPS line, the better this or that. I didn't think it was going to come down to that. It was going to come down to really just the focus fire and how you guys all played as a team as a whole. And you can see the work that Prodigy Noobs have been putting in to just be consistent as a team instead of relying on a singular carry kind of situation.
Yeah, that's what I do love about the team is I can't look at any one person or any one player and say like, if this person's not in, we're gonna lose. We're very consistent across the board. Our comms have been significantly altered through our coaching conversations with our coaches. I just think, as we progress through the seasons, playoffs is going to be a hell of a ride.
And I've got just one question. I'm not sure if Jibber's got any more, but what is the plan coming into your next game then?
I think we keep up the momentum. I think that what we've done today is showcase the fact that we deserve to be in the top of power rankings with the likes of Stardust and I Need Healing and White Walkers. I think that we're going to continue that momentum. We're going to continue the practice. We're going to continue the patience and continue to build that mental fortitude that I think we're known for in terms of resilience. So not huge alterations, but we're definitely going to go back to our coaching team and reevaluate some things and come back even stronger for next week.
Okay, I like that. Jibber, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good with that.
Boss, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for spectating and for commentating. I hope that we gave you a good show.
You definitely did.
Alright, thanks. Take care.
Night, boss.
Bye-bye. And who else is coming on?
Your Revity is our next up.
And speak
There we go.
of the
Again,
devil.
the the diligence of these two teams to just be on their game and
On
get in
point.
these things. On point. And now we just need your Revity to get out of whatever chat your Revity's in.
And the man of the hour has arrived. Hello.
How's it going?
Your Revity. I'm going to start off with congratulations on your MVP for the night.
I got one?
You
Nice.
did. We have
No
not
spoilers,
announced it
but
yet.
Thank
I mean,
you.
if a lot of teams tune into the post game shows here, so but apparently your Revity does not, so that's okay.
No.
yeah, congrats on the win as well. I think like me and Jibba were talking about MVPs, and you had some incredible plays tonight. I really want to know what your sort of thought process is coming up with these sort of clutch plays. You know, like you see like masters and GMs sometimes just brain fart, but it seems like you should be like in the top 500 category with some of your plays.
I think that's a bit too high, but I mean, like, it depends on the hero I'm playing, but a lot of the times, like, let's say it's like McCree, for Route 66, a lot of the time was just like trying to make sure I was, I'm not on a shield break hero, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm landing shots on not shields, if that's possible, or try to use my flashbang to disrupt for my tanks to be able to make plays and make more space. And just generally, just trying to play an assistive, like a more supportive DPS style. I don't, unless like I absolutely think it has to happen, like a pop-off play needs to happen, I play a very supportive style of DPS.
I don't know, if we're talking about that Bastion on Numbani, that was something else.
Okay.
Yes, that
Bastion
whole
was-
point,
Yeah.
that self-sacrifice.
Self-sacrifice Bastion play was a decent one. I saw that their Reinhardt was maybe just weak enough to die to one more shot, and I glanced down at my health and asked myself, is it worth it? And I decided yes.
It was. Obviously, this game against Prodigy Noobs was a really big game for SDC. You guys all want to keep your win streak going. You know, stay at the score that you're staying. We're not gonna talk about that one and jinx that one. But stay at that score. But how were you guys nervous coming into this? Were you hyped coming into this? Were you know, how did you feel playing against Prodigy Noobs?
I think most of us were extremely excited to play against Prodigy Noobs. They've actually been a pretty decent like scrim partner for us. We've scrimmed with them a lot, and it's always been really close scrims, really fun scrims. So for me, I came into this with quite a bit of excitement because I just enjoy playing against Prodigy Noobs, regardless of like the outcome. I get a lot of excitement out of playing it, specifically against Ares, because I view them as very, very skilled Mei, and if you've been following my DPS, you know I really enjoy playing Mei. That was where I started on my DPS. That's where I started Overwatch, so playing against Ares brings a lot of joy for me.
That was actually going to lead on to my next question of who was the biggest thorn in your backside on the side of Prodigy Noobs coming in tonight, for you personally?
Nova File on Pharah, definitely. It's a combined effort because of the Farm Mercy. But Nova plays a really, really strong Pharah, and that's just generally hard to counter when they have the Mercy with them. So to me, I think Nova File definitely forced me to play like McCree a lot, or a hit scan hero, or like kind of forced Wakocha over to another hit scan hero, and made us really play around them. So Nova File definitely biggest thorn in the side.
Okay, that is good to know.
So your tanks obviously do a really good job of keeping pressure and keeping presence, and a lot of that is, one, they know how to play their characters, but also you guys have a strong support line behind you guys that can alternate between tanks and between DPS. Who do you feel tonight out of your support line really was helpful and impactful on keeping everybody up, keeping, you know, the fight momentum in your kind of advantage?
I don't think I could pick one specific support, because Panda did a great job, like when we had her on Baptiste and all that. Like Moira, she's just really, really good at keeping, like, general healing. Panda's just really good at keeping the team at relatively high health. Maggie on or Magdragon on support with the Mercy play, or Zenyatta we saw. She's able to she stays alive for crazy amounts of time, and her reses are borderline stupid most of the time, but she gets away with it. She's very good at playing on Mercy. And Sidomia, when we play that guy on Lucio, he just goes crazy. So you get the Reddit Lucio, but you also get the benefit of he's very good at staying with the team, making sure that at least like 2-3 members of the team are usually getting benefited from either speed boost or healing. So I don't know if there was any one healer that makes it work. I think the two of whoever we have in at a time does a really good job of communicating and communicating with our tank line and making sure that they are synced up really well.
I think I'm all out of questions, unless Jibber, you have any more?
I have one question, but it's a little bit of a troll question. Eurevity, I know you and Strife go back, and I know you guys have a good relationship. Who's the better DPS? Because Strife had some real great DPS plays. We saw that massive bomb on map 1 there.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna. I know
We're
where
both
you're
so
gonna
flexible.
Go.
We're so flexible. It depends on the hero you put us on. I have my strengths, he has his strengths. I can't touch his Tracer at all. There's no way in the world I touch that man's Tracer. No, I don't know if anybody could, not at all. I do believe he's the best Tracer in tier 3, but I would argue like my Mei is definitely an edge. It just depends on the hero. We both have such depth in the DPS hero pool that I can't say one of us is better than the other because we're suited to different needs, really.
And then last final question. What map did you actually find toughest against PN? Every map was definitely back and forth and kind of, you know, it looked like it could go either way, but I mean, Anubis was crazy. You guys took us really far in that. Obviously, just on Busan was tough. Oasis was a tough map too.
Yeah.
What map do you think was, you know, toughest for you guys to kind of break a comp or deal with something against Prodigy Noobs?
Oasis was certainly tough, but I feel like we were given a lot of opportunities to crack whatever Prodigy Noobs had over us on Anubis, and we never managed to come up with the answer to it. So at least on their attack, we were able to kind of match the defenses a little bit, but they definitely had an edge over us on attacks, and I would argue that it was the hardest because of that, because we tried about 3 or 4 different types of compositions, and we were swapping in between points to try and find something that would give us an edge over them. We just couldn't get it, so I would say Anubis was definitely the toughest one. We spent a lot of time trying to crack their code, and we couldn't get it.
Okay. Understandable. Those are my questions for the night.
I think that's pretty much it then for the night.
Thank you for having me come onto the desk.
Yeah,
I would like to say just one thing, and that's that Prodigy Noobs are a great team. Every time we scrim them, there's no steam loss for this team, and I think they're going to continue to look really, really strong moving forward. They're definitely going to stay in my top 3 as far as most powerful teams in tier 3.
Gotta love that sportsmanship.
I was going to say it.
But yeah, honestly, Eurevity, it was a treat watching you play DPS tonight, and we thank you for it.
Thank you. Thank you for casting it. Jibba Sebi casts are always fun to watch back. So
Anytime.
you have a good night. I will get out of your hair and let you wrap it up.
You too,
And you,
thank
take care. Okay, so
All right.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, all right. So chat, that is a second 3-2 tonight to Stardust Crusaders. We also had Tantalizers versus Pipico 3-2. Again, as a reminder, we have Tater Thoughts versus Zenshin Tactics on Sunday at 8 p.m. EST. Really just incredible all-around games, and always something that you should be watching.
Yeah, and knowing this week's luck, we might see another 3-2 there on Sunday, and hopefully we can see you guys there for when it happens.
But on that note, have a good night, chat. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah, this is going to be us signing off.